Good morning, Vietnam, and welcome to another Godfather Minute. I'm Alex.
Yeah, why you always asking me my name, eh?
No one asked you your name. Just pause so you can. We're very pleased to be joined by Officer Matt. Was it Matthew McCluskey?
What's this all about, eh? I don't even remember my own name. Well, what are you doing? Asking me my business, eh?
I think it was Matthew because we were saying
it wasn't Matthew.
He didn't seem like it was like Ryan or something.
Yeah, it was something. Definitely didn't. It didn't. Not. I remember it did not sound Irish because we expected it to sound.
Does Matthew
Irish.
sound Irish? Matthew doesn't sound Irish.
No, it could be Matthew. Matthew McCluskey. Anyway, I'm Andy Robinson,
and together we are the Godfather Minute Brothers. Today we're discussing minute 81 of the Godfather. 81.
Back in the 80s. Alex, repeat after me. E minuto.
Numero.
81. 81.
81. So minute 81.
Wow, we are in sync. We went right into that together.
What was it again? 81.
81. That's it.
So how many minutes left until Mikey shoots the Turk?
Number 9 minutes left, Alex.
9 minutes. Wow.
And you know what? I realized that not 9 minutes. Like, whoa, that doesn't sound like a long time. 9 minutes. But it is because it's 9 weeks. But that's not really a long time for me to write, record, and release that.
That's true, yeah.
So I really need some answers from you, Alex. What did people definitively choose? Sonny getting shot on the causeway.
Sonny getting shot on the Number 1 was Mike shooting the Turk. Number 2 was Sonny on the causeway is the number one choice. So,
okay. I've been leaning toward that, so I think I have a genre and some ideas.
Okay. Mm-hmm. All right.
I just need to acquire a real Tommy gun to sample that.
Wow.
Yeah. Because I want it to be legit, dude.
You strive for authenticity.
Yeah.
And you don't want some modern 21st century Tommy gun. You want...
No, I want the real thing. I want to sample it. And I need to really do it right. I need someone who's going to be on the other end of receiving those bullets.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, I mean, we'll have a bulletproof jacket and all, Alex. Are you committed?
Well... But Sonny's not wearing a bulletproof jacket in the thing.
Well, I don't
want it sound different? The bullets going.
Well,
into
I didn't want to ask
jacket?
that, but since you're offering,
I mentioned it. I didn't insist.
Don't insist.
So 9 minutes till the Turk is dead.
That's right.
It's perfect for us. They got an old-fashioned toilet.
Shoot the Turk and McCluskey too. How many days until you do? We're counting down. Come count with me. You ain't gonna miss the Turk or Paulie.
I know I picked one.
We're counting down in this song. Michael and Enzo can't protect me very long.
For your father.
Shoot the Turk. Yeah, you'll break some laws. But in the morning you won't have to show cause. We're counting down, so lots of life. Read the gun, don't upset Clemenza's wife. We're counting down, so take your pick. It's no more Salazzo, or no more Salazzo tricks.
I'm not that clever.
We're counting down, count with me. No more Salazzo, no more McCluskey.
Why, you little punk?
Shoot the Turk. Shoot the Turk. Wait a minute. Shoot the Turk. Shoot the Turk. Shoot the Turk. Shoot the Turk.
Well, meanwhile, in minute 81, the gang goes over some last-minute plans. Sonny wants to make sure that Mikey comes out with more than his dick in his hand. And Clemenza and Sonny both give Mikey some more murder tips and tell him it will be at least a year before he can return to United States.
Yeah, boy. A year.
That would be, well, that's at the very end of the minute. We'll talk about it now, but because
You want to talk about that now?
Yeah, just because
Okay.
you can cut that whole.
I have a question for you
Go ahead.
about that. So
Okay.
if you, Alex, if you had to spend a year hiding out outside the United States, you know, our listeners want to know, who is the real Alex Robinson?
Is the real Alex
So where would you choose?
For a year starting now.
At least a year.
Starting today.
Starting right now.
Okay. I think I would pick someplace warm. I mean, I guess at the time we're recording this, it's February in Oregon, so it's everything's gray and misty and rainy all the time.
So warm. So like the countryside of Sicily.
No, because I'd want to go somewhere where more people spoke English. Sicily does not strike me as the kind of place where if you're not an Italian speaker, it's easy to acclimate. So,
Well, and how long does he end up spending there? Is it a year or is it
at least a year.
at least a year, right?
Yeah, I don't know. Actually, I don't want to skip ahead to.
Okay, I know in the book, Mikey says, how long do you think I'm gonna be gone, Sonny? And Sonny says,
to record, shorter.
well, at least a year, kid. And in the book, Mikey responds saying, well, try to work on that because I don't want to do another 3-year stint abroad.
Huh?
I guess when he was in the army, he was gone for 3 years.
Yeah, I guess so.
So, yeah,
It seems like he's very bitter about his army experience.
yeah, I guess he just wants to. Well, he's in love with Kay.
Yeah.
He just got back not that long ago, and now he's got to go back abroad.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say, well, wait a minute. He enlisted in 1941, and this is 1945 that he got out of the military. But I guess he wasn't necessarily abroad. He probably trained in America and then went abroad. You know, it's not like they immediately went into combat. You know,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah, they probably had training. Of course, they did some level of training.
So
where would you go?
I think I would go to like Hawaii.
Well, you mentioned language being a factor. Wouldn't you take advantage of this opportunity to go somewhere to learn a language? You could have knocked out all these numbers without having me teach you every week.
Well, it's true. I'm very poor at learning languages unless I'm in like when I go to France and I have to talk to a lot of French people and I gradually pick up words. That is the best way to learn a language is by throwing yourself in the culture. But I wasn't on the run from mafia hitmen. I don't want to be like, if they're like, hey, we're looking for an American, you're like, oh yeah, there's the one guy who doesn't speak Sicilian. You know, it's not like it would take them that hard to track me down. So
I could see you being in. I could see
like
you
Japan or something.
Well, in Japan or any country where English is not the primary language, and you're learning the days of the week and to drive, and so you're saying it in other language, like in the Spanish, you'd be like, "Look, I got a lunes, martes, miércoles, jueves."
Yeah,
Of course,
so,
you'd have to marry someone else there, etc. Anyway, so Hawaii.
what would you pick?
Oh boy, I have never been to Italy, and I'd love to go. Yeah, maybe I'd go to Italy. It's warm,
Yeah.
good food. Warm, good food. It's perfect.
Well, you've lived abroad before.
I have. I lived in Costa Rica for a year, and I loved it. And I've traveled to a lot of Latin countries. I would love to live abroad again.
So why don't you?
Well, I don't know. Maybe I would do something different.
Yeah.
And it's an opportunity to learn another language. And that way for GF2, I wouldn't have to look up on YouTube how to pronounce all these numbers every week.
Oh,
I would
I
just
see.
know it.
Well, if you want, do you want to like put the show on hiatus so you can go to Italy for a year?
Sure, why not?
Sure, these big deals.
So supporters, if you'd like to provide financial support for my upcoming
If you want to get to the $9,000 Patreon level, you get to go to Italy with Andy.
Yeah, and we learn the days of the week together. Monday, Tuesday, Thursday.
No. Not yet. Would you do that if a listener said, "Hey, Andy, I will pay for your travel, but you have to travel with the person that you have."
Definitely.
All right,
Yeah.
you heard it, folks.
Absolutely, yeah. If we have any very financially well-off supporters, I'd be glad to accompany them. I guess it depends where they go. Italy, yeah.
What if they said you can't? Yeah, I won't. They won't tell you where you're going to go. So you either get a free trip and board for a year, or
a year.
A year.
So I just put my life on hold for a year, and I'm just getting living expenses.
Well, and trust travel.
Yeah, travel and living.
Funeral expenses.
Oh boy, that's a great question. I don't know. I'm gonna have to think about that. I probably know. I'd like to think that I would say yes, but I don't know the person. I don't know how they made their money. I don't know how they make a living. Trust me, Alex. Tell this person it's out of the question. They'll understand.
All right. Sorry, Patreon supporter. Not this time. Can't do it, Sally.
Can't do it. How about you? Would you do it?
No, I wouldn't do it.
Would you do it for a week?
No, I wouldn't do it for a
Really?
week. I think I'm much more of a, I would have to know the person and know, because that's a long time to be traveling with someone who,
1 week?
if they're annoying and stuff, especially traveling, if you're in a place where you don't speak the language, it's the only person you can talk to is this one listener of this podcast. Ugh, they're terrible. Have you met these? Oh, wait a minute. You're not recording this, are you?
All right, I'm going to be your supporter. What's the word for someone who's
You're my
wealthy?
supporter.
No, but wealthy and supporting.
Patron.
A patron. So I'm your patron. Go ahead. And now we're in Paris, about to go on a train ride somewhere, and we're
The Metro.
the metro.
See? That's some French.
So I'm your patron. So ask me where we're going.
So, Patreon, I can't. This is crazy. Here we are in Paris, France. Where are we going next?
You mean annoying like that?
The whole time. That's all he ever says. Like the middle of the night.
Yeah. What are you sharing a room with the person? I guess I'd have a lot of those kinds of questions.
You'd have like a rider that said you had to have your own room. You had to have all these different requirements. But it doesn't look like Mikey's going to have those choices.
No.
I wonder how long it took them to set this up.
Well, I definitely prepped the newspaper people.
Mm-hmm. Like, how long is this since the hospital? It feels like it's like 2 days later.
Yeah, I don't think it's very long. I think that things happen very quickly.
Yeah.
Because Mike gets out of the hospital and then goes right back to the house where they start discussing next steps. Or Michael says, "No, getting Salazzo is the key."
Well, so I imagine that they have a lot of connections in Sicily that they probably talk to all the time anyway. So
Yeah.
it's not. So they have relationships with the people. It's not like they have to start from scratch, finding an Airbnb or something. Trying to pick good places. I'm sure they just said, "Hey, what's the guy's name? Don
Tomasino.
Don Tomasino." Like, "Oh, can you just put up Mikey for a year?" And she was like, "Sure, fine."
Yeah.
Just don't marry any local girls. Stay away from my daughter.
People don't know that was the birth of Airbnb. Don
That was the
Tomasino,
first-
remember he had to keep moving Michael around? He was
Oh,
like, this
that's
place
right.
has become too dangerous.
Yeah.
We've got to move you. And so he would just call up relatives. And
I think he originally had the idea when they were hiding Vito Andolini. You know what I mean? When they were hiding from house to house. He's like, "You know what? I should be making money doing this. This is a great
Yeah,
thing."
there's a market
so
here.
40 years later, he's like, "Finally, I can put my plan into place."
And he saves the hospitality rooms for last. Because that's their bread and butter, right? And so it turns out the Godfather setting was the birth of Airbnb.
Do you have a theme music for that one?
Not yet. No.
Okay. For all the times that the birth of Airbnb is going to come up.
I won't go there. I'll just say I'll write it I'll compose it when I'm on my my year-long hiatus with our patron.
It's weak. Anyway, getting back to
yeah.
81.
Okay.
Well, speaking of weak, Clemens is giving him directions, and he says, "Tell him you got to take a leak. Better yet, ask permission to go."
Yeah.
And did you have something you were going to say about that?
No, it's just interesting. Continue.
Well, I looked up "take a leak."
Oh, great.
In what year do you think we can trace the word "leak" meaning into to urinate?
So I'm always very wrong with these, very, very wrong. And so I never go back far
Very
enough.
wrong.
I'm going back.
Get back.
I'm going back 1780
1780.
because it clearly has to do with the naval operations, sailor talk. Oh, it's probably even longer.
It is. It's in a Shakespeare. In Henry IV, a character says, "Then we will leak in your chimney," meaning that they will urinate into someone's chimney.
That's wrong.
On the thing. So,
That's
but take a leak.
Yeah.
1934.
Oh, okay.
So they both derive from the Old Norse word "leka," which is a hole that is causing water to leak out.
Oh, interesting.
There's a leak in my pot. That's an example.
I wonder why in 1936 it transformed to take a leak.
Well, I'm guessing that's the first year that it was like printed. So it was probably before that. It was probably like a vernacular saying that people use. But that's the first time they have a record of it being used.
Yeah.
So,
But I just wonder why it ever became to take a leak. Really doesn't
yeah, I wonder. Well, I wonder
like
if
make a leak makes a little bit more sense.
Well, I wonder if pardon my rough language here for a second. I wonder if it's related to take a shit.
Well, I have the same question about that saying. I didn't want to go there, but you opened the door.
Hey, someone's in here.
Yes. Oh, sorry. Sorry, I opened the door on you. But the same question. Where does that come from?
Why is it take?
Why the auxiliary? Why the verb to take?
Yeah, it's love that we asked, we'll answer. Right, that's one of the many gross topics we'll be bringing up in the bonus content. I'll write it down so we don't forget. Take a shit, and you got to bleep out all the poops, all the shit sounds. You got to bleep out all those curses.
Should I put that sound effect over every time you say that
Yes,
word?
because that's even worse. I would rather hear someone say the word shit than to hear a shit being
Really?
done. Yeah, just hear the word. It's nothing.
Okay. Yeah, I guess it doesn't.
But if you're like in the stall and you hear the guy in the next stall, like, sputtering and
So is that worse than you hearing the guy in the stall going, "Oh man, this shit's not coming out," like narrating the experience, which
that's
is
pretty
worse.
bad too.
Okay.
Although if it did go on long enough, I would probably start laughing just because I'm like, why is he describing this whole thing? It's like he's on the phone telling somebody,
Yeah. Well, I think he's on his phone and he has the microphone to text activated because he wants to post it on Twitter or something.
Yeah, that makes more sense.
Hashtag trouble in the stall.
So also on thefreedictionary.com, they say vulgar. They say take a leak is vulgar and use with caution, and also that it is primarily a male thing. Like women don't say take a leak. Do you agree with that?
Never thought about that.
I never thought about it either.
I don't think I've ever heard a woman say that.
Now, is it just because they're too ladylike? Like, do they say, "Oh, I gotta take a piss"?
No, it's because I don't know any women.
Oh, listen, next Patreon level, $50 get you a date with.
Hopefully that Patreon that takes me a year abroad is abroad. I don't recall ever.
Next
hearing
time
it.
we bump into a lady, we'll have to ask. We'll have to do.
Yeah.
This is a good like icebreaker at a party.
Great. Hey, if we have any lady fans out there, go to Fredo Corleone's and Mickey Mouse nightclub and just post if you.
We'll ask, you'll answer. All right.
So I got a couple notes for this minute, Alex.
Yes.
So, are you done with Clemenza's tips on how to get away with an assassination attempt at an Italian restaurant?
The only other thing is that he tells them to shoot them twice each in the head.
Yeah.
Which seems like that's kind of demanding.
Well, they want to be sure it works.
Yeah.
Maybe they learned from Salazzo's assassination attempt on the Don. 5 shots in his Italian eye and he's still alive.
Yeah. But 2 shots to the head. So even if they shoots him in the trunk, then he still has to go up and go shoot him twice in the head.
Yeah, that's true.
So I'm sure he just tells him like whatever a high amount is, so that even if he just does one and he panics, he'll at least have done one. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
exactly. Yeah.
Like shoot the guy 35 times, then he'll shoot him like 17 times. Well, that's probably enough and run away.
Yeah, it's always better to tell him to do more because you can back off.
Yeah, or if you do, they'll half-ass it and stop after. I'm tired. So, so you said you had some notes.
Yeah. So Sonny says, hey, listen. I want somebody good, and I mean very good, to plant that gun. I don't want my brother coming out of that toilet with just his dick in his hand, all right? Mm-hmm. So, let's break this down. Let's break it down.
The origin of the word dick.
No. Don't go there. So is Sonny saying that if it isn't planted well, that someone, like one of Sollozzo's guys, is going to find it and then Mikey won't have the gun? Because if that were the scenario, then it would probably be over before Mikey even got in there. If one of Sollozzo's guys... Well, and the other question is do they search the restaurant?
Right.
So what does Sonny mean by that?
I think Sonny's
what
saying,
is he thinking?
Make sure that it is hidden somewhere where no one's going to find it if they walk into the bathroom and,
So is he worried that anyone would, or Sollozzo's people in particular, because he's being a good wartime Don substitute and thinking ahead?
Well, probably he just doesn't want anyone to find it because then if they found it, they might take it out, or bring it to the bartender. Someone left this gun in the bar and the thing.
Well, that's what I was wondering too.
Yeah.
What would someone do if they found it? Would they just leave it there? Or?
Everyone minds their business.
Yeah. Oh, that's right.
It's perfect.
So Alex, again, your fans want to know who is the real Alex Robinson.
Is the real Alex Robinson?
So what would you do if you went into a restaurant and you found a gun taped behind a toilet?
I would probably take a picture of it and then I would leave it.
You would leave it?
I would leave it.
Really?
Yeah. I don't want to get mixed up in any
You
mob.
wouldn't call the police? Or...
No, I don't want to. I mind my own business. The food is good.
Oh, that's right. That's why you're at that restaurant, because you mind your business.
No, I think I would probably not do anything. I'd probably be like, not my business.
So why would you take a picture of it?
So that I could just go, oh my God, look, someone left a thing behind the toilet just like in The Godfather.
So who would you show it to?
You, of course. And I would post it on our Facebook feed. At Fredo Corleone's Mickey Mouse Fan Club.
So if that were to happen and later you were to find out that someone got killed, how would you feel?
I'd be like, that's so awesome that I saw the gun right before the person got killed. If anyone who got killed by that gun got mixed up in the rackets, it probably deserved what was coming to him.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, newspapers might even like a story like that.
I thought you were going to say, and I'll ask you this question. Let's say you go, because if you found it, you would call the police?
I'm still thinking it through. I think I would. Anonymously, I would call and say, hey, I was just in this. Hey, not even I was just in this restaurant. I would say, hey.
Would you call from the restaurant?
No.
You would leave your meal and go home or go to a payphone and call?
Yeah, I would sit down. I would finish my meal. That's like what Michael says. I wouldn't want that. I wouldn't want it to happen during my meal. I mean, that could be someone who's about to rob the restaurant and you're still in it.
Well, my question was going to be would you stick around to see what happened or would you, because they're probably not going to shoot you. I mean, unless you get caught in the crossfire, get taken hostage or something.
Yeah.
So maybe I would leave.
Yeah.
I wouldn't stick around.
Just get away. Yeah, get out of there. And then anonymously call the police.
No, I would not anonymously call the police.
I would
wait across the street for a while.
Why?
To see if any dramatic things happened.
I would call the police, but I would not call McCluskey's precinct.
So I thought the question you were asking me was, if you went in there and the gun wasn't there, would you come out with your dick in your hand? Because I would. It would be very dramatic if he went there and the gun wasn't there, and he'd be like, "Did the Turk fight? Do they know already?
Yeah.
Is this whole thing? Are they just playing with me?"
Oh,
That would
man.
be.
What do you think Mikey would do?
I don't know.
He comes out of the bathroom completely sopping wet because he's been looking in the toilet and flushing it. It's like, did Cleanse Planet
disconnected all the pipes and stuff.
He comes out for a second, goes to the waiter. He's like, "Do you have a monkey? Do you have a monkey wrench?
You have a number 7 monkey wrench." His shirt's all he's wearing his white tank top and all
Those
oil
coveralls.
stains. Just give me 2 more minutes, guys.
Yeah, so do you think that Solozzo had the restaurant searched? I don't think he did.
I think he did, but maybe just to make sure there was no one in the bathroom. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
or
a
no
cursory search.
Yeah,
as
or
they
no Corleone spies,
Right, yeah.
kind of minding their own business in booths.
Yeah. The Corleones should have sent someone to every restaurant in town. That way, if they knew it was going to be a restaurant.
We got 1,500 button men all stationed at every Italian restaurant. We know they're going to go to an Italian restaurant, and we prioritize the ones where the veal is great.
We know McCluskey's a veal man, so we.
Te saludo, consigliere. Hagen did his homework.
That would be good research. Come on, Tom. Yeah. I'm beginning to side with the people who say Tom's not a good consigliere.
I need to know the statistics on the selling of the white powder. You're looking at veal, the best veal in the city. Come on. So another question, Alex.
Yes.
Who plants the gun?
We don't know. It's not one of the guys, because I assume that they call someone in the Bronx or whatever and say, "Hey, get there and tape it."
Yeah.
Because none of them would be able to. I guess they probably wouldn't be able to get there in time. From.
Oh yeah, because they're in Long Island.
And if he's going to meet the Turk, and he's leaving right that second, they wouldn't have enough time to get to the restaurant.
Yeah. Mikey does end up going to the city, waiting at Jack Dempsey's. It was 5 to 8 when they picked him up. I read it. And on Broadway. And he was waiting 15.
Is that true? Does it say it's 5 to 8?
Yeah. That's when they picked him up. And the reason I bring that up is because in the book, Puzo wrote that he was waiting 15 minutes. He got there early and then he was waiting 15 minutes.
Okay, well, they didn't know that was going to be the case, so they couldn't count on that being the case. You might not even be in the car, Sonny.
Yeah, so, they probably just got someone in the Bronx.
Yeah.
To plan it. Someone real good. Imagine getting that call. You think it's like a niche service? They have someone in every borough.
I guess the best tape man in the city. The gun's not going. No flicks. The guy's like, "Look," he's like, "I have a gun strapped to my chest. Go ahead, try to take it off. You can. He's like, "See, that tape is no go."
That's how he got the job. Remember how we talked about the Bociccio family last week?
Yeah.
How their specialty is loyalty. There's another family whose specialty is taping guns.
It's just specifically taping guns.
Yeah, planting weapons in general.
And they're like, "Listen, I don't want to attract the noise of a gun. Could you plant a knife instead?" Like, you think we're some kind of knife planters?
Yeah, come on. Sorry, we don't do that, but I have a referral to the Solozzo family. They're great with knives.
That's right. That I cannot do.
They all look at each other like, we ain't calling Solozzo.
They call him, "I'm here to talk to a Virgil Solazzo." Hang up.
He's like, you're calling me to plant a knife at in a restaurant?
That would be a very clever double cross. Oh, the irony. I planted the knife that stabbed me.
Yeah, he ends up doing it. He doesn't realize it. So I have another a point about the minute, Alex.
Okay.
So it's kind of interesting. Near the end of this minute, Sonny tells Michael, "Did he tell you to drop the gun right away?" Mm-hmm. And Mikey says, "1,000,000 times." That really reminded me of later when Michael is in the garden with Don Corleone.
Oh, right.
And Don Corleone is counseling him. And Don Corleone says, oh, well, I want you to arrange to have a telephone man check all the calls that go in and out of here because about that Barzini business. Mm-hmm. And Michael says, I did it already, Pop. I took care of it. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of funny or just interesting how Sonny had coached him. Mike's like, I got it. And then later, the same thing with Don Corleone.
I thought you were going to point out that line sounded so dubbed to me. I know you're a big fan of dubbed lines, and it sounds so dubbed to me, that line.
Yeah, I didn't pick up on that. It's great.
And this is the last time Sonny and Mikey see each other.
Yeah.
It's kind of sad.
Yeah.
It's good that they part on good terms, at least. You know, with Sonny being proud of his brother and all that stuff. So, so the question I was going to have was, if Mikey, the last question I have, and this maybe we should save for the minute when the Turk comes out, but what if the gun had not been there? What would Mikey have done? Should we sit on that and talk about it in 9 minutes when he does come out?
Let's do that. Let's do that.
Just would he have gone through with the negotiations?
Yeah.
And I'm assuming the Turk would have hurt him because they have the negotiators play pinochle.
The question is, would he have found another way to kill him? Probably not.
Right.
My guess is, without thinking about it too much, is that he would have come out of the bathroom with his hand in his jacket as if he were holding a gun.
Yeah.
Kind of, guys pretending to hold the gun, pointing.
Yeah.
Like sticking, and he'd be like
Enzo did.
Yeah.
For your father.
Yeah. And he says, all right, I've got a gun on you, so you do promise not to kill my pop? I was like, oh, sure, kid, sure. He's like, all right, I'm going to get out of here. We can talk more about that later.
Wait, who was the person saying sure, kid? Was that Turk?
That was Solazzo.
Oh, that was Solazzo. Yeah. That wasn't McCluskey.
No, that wasn't the Turk. That was Solazzo.
Hey, you got a gun under there, huh?
I thought you frisked him. I frisked 1,000 punks. He was clean. He must have planted that in the bathroom.
They must have got a tape man in here. Well, that's all I have for minute number 81.
You want to rate it, Alex?
Oh, yes. Setting up for the big killing. We do get some good Clemenza advice. I'm gonna go. We'll say it at the same time, right?
Yeah. Before we say that, Clemenza seemed a little insulted that Sonny was reminding him to get someone really good to plant
like that doesn't go without saying.
Yeah.
You want someone really good? Okay, I'll look at my good Rolodex of killers, of tape men.
Second tier, third tier tape men.
All of Clemenza's dialogue was suggested for him by his wife. Can you believe that?
Whoa.
He wasn't even supposed to have any speaking parts in this little scene with it. She's like, get in there, assert yourself.
Yeah. That's why he was so mad. The gun will be there, Sonny.
He's the gun will be there, but the cannoli won't, because we're going to take that. Right? Huh? Remember that?
He gets to keep referencing the cannoli because he knows 80 years, 100 years from now, that's the line he'll be most remembered for. So he's got to milk it.
Yeah. All right, so let's say our rating on 3. Ready?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. 2. Interesting.
It was kind of a 2.5.
Yeah.
I felt like it was kind of a transition minute.
It is. They can't all be high ratings.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Going 2. Alex, you want to talk about our marathon? I don't know what we're calling it.
Oh, yeah. I guess that's an interesting, not Godfather related, maybe, but maybe it will be Godfather related. We don't know.
Well, let me introduce it. I know I just asked you about it.
Sure.
So a few weeks ago, Alex approached me and he said, there's this thing that cartoonists do to jumpstart their creativity. They'll sit in a room. A few of them will get together and they'll commit to sitting in a room together for 24 consecutive hours. And during that time, they have to write, pencil, ink, produce a 24-page comic. Is that right, Alex?
Mm-hmm. That's right.
And so Alex approved. I said, wow, that's really cool. And so Alex asked me, said, do you want to do that? I said, Alex, I don't know how to draw. I can do 24 pages, but I could do it in 20 minutes. It's not going to take me 24 hours. He said, no, you do a song. I said, yeah. So I accepted. And at the time, on the day that this episode is being released, we are going to do that. We're modifying it, right? So we're doing 12 hours.
12 hours, yeah.
And you're doing a 12-page comic.
Well, actually, it's funny because it depends, because Patreons get it on Saturday regular people get it on Sunday. So if you're Patreon, you're listening to while we're doing it. If you're a non-Patreon, then we've already completed it at this press time.
Yeah, we're sleeping
God
in.
willing. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, so that should be fun.
So I'm doing a song, and Alex is doing a 12-page comic. And I think we agreed that we're not going to talk about the content beforehand, and the content of my song and Alex's comic may influence each other.
Right.
It may be about the same topic or
Yeah.
be related. And I think we're going to do it soup to nuts during the session, right?
Yeah. We should totally record The Godfather while we're doing it, too. At the same time, we could feed 3 birds with 1 scone.
What did you feed them with a scone?
We'll talk about it off the air.
So that's kind of exciting. I guess we'll let the listeners know how they can access that content once it's produced.
Yeah. Actually, and now that I'm thinking about it, because I'm going to be doing it on my iPad, I might do it so that you can live stream. You can see us working, or check in on us. So,
interesting.
So if you're hearing this now, go check us out.
Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't set it up yet. I'll tweet about it, or go to my Twitter, @ArobTwit, @ArobTwit, and I'm sure I'll be mentioning it there if we do any live streaming.
So until you see us live streaming,
try the Veal. It's the best in the city.